Lymphatic system. The lymphatic system represents an accessory route through which a fluid can flow from the intestinal spaces to the blood. The lymphatic system belongs to the circulatory system. This provides one way for the blood to leave the heart, the arterial system, and two ways for it to return, the venous and the lymphatic pathway. The lymphatics can carry proteins and large particulate matter away from the tissue spaces. Neither of which can be removed by absorption directly into the blood capillaries. The return of this protein to the blood from the interstitial spaces is an essential function without which we could die within about 24 hours. So, lymphatic system is absent in CNS, cornea, superficial layers of skin, bones, alveoli of lungs. Lymphatic system is absent in central nervous system, superficial layer of skin, bones, alveoli of lungs. Consists of lymphatic channels, lymph nodes, and lymph organs. Lymphatic channels, capillaries, vessels, and ducts. The lymph channels of the body. Lymph excess tissue fluid carried by lymphatic channels. Almost all tissues have special lymph channels that drains excessive fluid directly from the interstitial spaces. There is a passive system, one-way system towards the heart. No pump, lymph move towards the heart. Milking action of skeletal muscles, rhythmic contraction of smooth muscles and vessel walls. The cardiovascular system pumps blood through the system, but it cannot return all the fluid from the body cells. The lymph system picks up 60% of the fluid dropped off at the cellular level. At this point, we are talking about interstitial fluid. The IF packs up plasma and becomes tissue fluid. The tissue fluid is then picked up by lymph capillaries. This tissue fluid is called lymph. Lymph capillaries, smallest lymph vessels, first to receive lymph. Then lymphatic collecting vessels collect from lymph capillaries. Once again, lymph capillaries, smallest lymph vessels, first to receive lymph. Sympathetic collecting vessels collect from lymph capillaries. Then lymph nodes scattered along collecting vessels. Then lymph trunks collect lymph from collecting vessels, and lymph ducts. Lymphatic capillary, lymphatic vessel, lymph node, lymphatic vessel, lymphatic trunk. First, capillary, vessel, node, vessel, trunk, duct, or collecting duct and subclavian vein. The lymphatic system, and we try to learn about the structure. Cervical lymph nodes, palatine tonsil, thymus, right lymphatic duct, axillary lymph nodes, spleen, cisterna chyli, then thoracic duct, inguinal lymph nodes, etc. Lymphatic capillary, lymphatic vessel, lymph node, lymphatic vessel, lymphatic trunk, collecting duct, and subclavian vein. So, venous system, arterial system, two kinds of separation is there. So, heart, lymph duct, lymph trunk, lymph node, lymphatic system, lymphatic collecting vessels with valves, lymphatic capillary and blood capillaries. Venule, loose connective tissue around capillaries, arterioles, blood capillaries, and lymphatic capillaries. Tissue cell, filaments anchored to connective tissue, endothelial cell, flap-like mini valve, fibroblast to loose connective tissue. Then lymph capillaries, smallest lymphatic vessels. They begin in the tissue spaces as blind-ended sacs. These capillaries collect lymph from the interstitial spaces marked in the beginning of lymphatic system. Fluid leaks through these mini valves into the capillaries. High pressure on inside closes mini valves. Tissue fluid is there, tissue cells, lymphatic capillary, arteriole, and venule. Then lymph opening, tissue fluid, endothelium of lymphatic capillary, anchoring filament. These are lymphatic capillaries. Lymph vessels collect lymph from the lymph capillaries, deliver lymph to lymph nodes, return fluid to circulatory veins near the heart. They have valves in between to prevent the backflow of lymph to maintain one way of pathway. Lymphatic vessels, lymphatic cells, lymphatic vessels, lymph valve open, valve closed. And lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are bean-shaped organs in cluster seen in the lymphatic system. Lymph nodes usually occur in groups and are strategically arranged at various sites in the body. They act as a gateway for assessing the health of the entire lymphatic system. Filter lymph before it is returned to the blood. Defense cells in nodes. Then medulla houses macrophages which engulf and destroy foreign substances. Then cortex nurtures lymphocytes which provide immune response to antigens. Lymph nodes, lymph vessels. lymph nodes and lymph vessels. Then flow of lymph through nodes. Lymph enters the convex side through the afferent lymphatic vessels. Lymph flows through a number of sinuses inside the node. Lymph exists through efferent lymphatic vessels. Fewer efferent than afferent vessels causes blood to be slowed. An anatomy of a lymph node here we could see afferent lymphatic vessels, sinuses, lymphatic nodule, terminal center, capsule, efferent lymphatic vessel. Then lymphatic trunk. Lymphatic trunk form the union of collecting vessels, 9 major trunks: lumbar, jugular, subclavian, bronchomediastinal trunk, then single intestinal trunk. Cervical lymph nodes, right jugular trunk, right lymphatic duct, right subclavian trunk, right subclavian vein. Axillary lymph nodes, left jugular trunk, left subclavian trunk, left subclavian vein. Thoracic duct, cisterna chyli, left lumbar trunk, right lumbar trunk, intestinal trunk, and inguinal lymph nodes. Lymphatic ducts. Lymphatic ducts are the largest lymphatic vessels. Lymphatic ducts are the largest lymphatic vessels. Ducts drain lymph into the veins in the neck. The right and left subclavian veins at the junctions within the internal jugular veins. Valves in the lymphatic ducts at their junctions with the veins prevent the entrance of blood into the lymphatic vessel. There are two types of ducts: right lymphatic duct and thoracic duct. Right lymphatic duct and thoracic duct. Lymphatic ducts. Right lymphatic duct empties at junction of right internal jugular and right subclavian veins. Right lymphatic duct empties at the junction of right in the internal jugular and right subclavian veins. Thoracic duct empties into junction of left internal jugular and left subclavian vein, cisterna chyli, most inferior part of the thoracic duct. Cervical lymph nodes, thymus, palatine tonsil, then axillary lymph nodes, right lymphatic duct, spleen, cisterna chyli, then thoracic duct, then inguinal lymph nodes. Lymphoid organs. Several organs contribute to lymphatic function like spleen, thymus, tonsils, Peyer's patches. Tonsils in pharyngeal region, thymus in thorax, most active during youth. Then spleen curves around left side of stomach. Peyer's patches in intestine. The spleen filters blood, destroys worn out blood cells, forms blood cells in fetus, acts as a blood reservoir. Then the thymus functions at peak levels only during childhood, produces hormones like thymosin to program lymphocytes. Then tonsils, small masses of lymphoid tissue around the pharynx, trap and remove bacteria and other foreign materials. Tonsils is caused by congestion with bacteria. Normal tonsils, then inflamed tonsils. Soft palate, uvula, tonsil, and tongue. Peyer's patches, they are tonsils of intestine found in the walls of the intestine, capture and destroy bacteria in the intestine. Once again, we have already mentioned about the spleen, but once again I need to read this. Filters blood, destroys worn out blood cells, forms blood cells in fetus, then acts as a blood reservoir. Next, thymus functions in peak levels only during childhood, produces hormones. Then tonsil, small masses of lymphoid tissues around the pharynx, trap and remove bacteria and other foreign materials. Tonsillitis is caused by congestion with bacteria. Normal tonsils. Inflamed tonsils. Soft palate, uvula, tonsil, tongue. They act as lymphatic organs. Then Peyer's patches, they are tonsils of intestine found in the walls of intestine, capture and destroy bacteria in the intestine. Peyer's patches. Then functions of lymphatic system, filters bacteria, foreign materials, toxins, and any harmful materials. Drains away excess fluid to prevent water clogging of the tissues and cells. Functions of lymphatic system, filters bacteria, foreign materials, toxins, and any harmful materials. Drains away excess fluid to prevent water clogging of the tissue and cells. Transports proteins back into the blood supply. Produces lymphocytes which protect and defend the body against infection. Then produces lymphocytes which protect and defend the body against infection, produce antibodies to fight bacteria, then absorbs fat from the intestine and transport to the liver. Lacteals, we might have listened something about this lacteals. So that's something which is represented with the last point, absorbs fats from the intestine and transport it into the liver. Lacteals.